Hey, it's Alvin from Priceline Pharmacy, West Brunswick, and we're on the Ask Alvin Show. This is a show where I do once a week, and my main aim is to provide immense value for you, people who watch our show, and our clients and customers, and I just want to make sure that you're getting the best advice out there. And it's a great way to answer common questions that you may have about pharmacy and wellness and all that related stuff. Oh, as always, I've got to go through my disclaimer first, so please remember that I'm not a medical doctor. Any advice that I give you is just general advice only. Please contact your healthcare practitioner to ensure that you get advice that's specific to you. And if I do happen to mention any medications and dosages, please always use as directed and consult your healthcare practitioner if your symptoms persist. Great legal stuff out of the way. So just want to make sure that if you do come on here, come on live. I'm happy to answer your questions as best as I can. If I'm unable to answer it, I will let you know, and I'll go away and I'll try and answer it for you. And I will answer it for you next week, and I'll direct message you as well. But if you're coming on, please make sure that you like and share. Even if you're watching the recording, please make sure you leave your comments there, and I will answer them next time. And if you have a question, I will answer it next time as well. Let's go. We've got some great questions this week. As always, people always want to know some fantastic stuff and some challenging stuff as well. So I'm just going to roll into them. So the first question today is from Andrew, and he says he's asking, what are probiotics? So yeah, probiotics making the new, prebiotics. Probiotics rolls off the tongue like normal. So what are prebiotics? Prebiotics are getting a lot of attention at the moment because probiotics have been all the rage, and rightfully so. And now more evidence is coming into light about the use of prebiotics. So prebiotics are the right foods that you need to feed your gut's bacteria so then they can grow and proliferate and have the beneficial effects that they do. So you quite often, we recommend that you take probiotics, which you take in the form of a capsule or a powder, and the probiotics then replace the bugs that you haven't got, and then it tries to stimulate your body to produce those strains of bacteria and other strains of bacteria as well. So the bacteria that are being produced in the gut, they need to eat, and for them to eat and proliferate to have them to have maximum benefit in your body, you need to feed them, and you feed them using what are called prebiotics. Cool? Good. It's a bit complicated, not really. So what are these prebiotics? So prebiotics are indigestible carbohydrates. They hang out, they make their way to the colon, and then they are used as food by the bacteria. So there are three types of prebiotics, and these are usually in the form of whole foods. Some of them are in forms of supplementation, but I'll go through the three types. There is non-starch polysaccharides, which I won't really go into that much today because it's a little bit complicated and tricky to handle in a Q&A. But the most common ones are soluble fiber and resistant starch. So the prebiotic soluble fiber, many of us have heard of. It's known as psyllium husk, which is what is in Metamucil. So by consuming psyllium husk, you will then create the right food for the probiotics, for the bacteria in your gut to proliferate and grow and handle your symptoms of, and maintain a healthy gut microbiome is what we call, or healthy bacteria in your gut. The other one is resistant starch. So a lot of people may be familiar with this fancy term called resistant starch, and this prebiotic includes things like steel-cut oats, which many of us may have, grains, legumes, potatoes, believe it or not, and there are also some synthetic resistant starches as well. So the main ones that I'm going to concentrate on a little bit today are the ones that you get in whole food. So these are the potatoes, the grains, and the legumes. So obviously, if you've got some conditions where you can't tolerate these, you'll just need to work through them and determine the right prebiotic or the right resistant starch that suits your body. So for me, some grains and legumes cause inflammation in my gut, so I can't do that, but I've worked out which grains and legumes my body can handle. The same thing with soluble fiber. Some people can't have too much soluble fiber. I'm one of those people, so if I have Metamucil and psyllium husk, my body just can't take it, and I'm in a bad state. So you need to figure out the right prebiotic that you can take. With all of these prebiotics, it's really important that you start slow and you don't increase the dosage too quickly, because you can get effects in your gut, which then just upsets the whole bacteria and the whole process anyway. And a lot of people get disheartened when they start using prebiotics. But try and get it through whole food. Now, I mentioned potatoes. If you want to keep the potatoes really simple, boiled or roasted, with a little bit of fat, you don't want to go deep fried chips or anything like that, because that's just going to cause everything to go out of whack, because we all know that's naughty. So, Andrew, hopefully that answered your question about what prebiotics are. So really essential that you include prebiotics as part of your diet to then maintain your gut bacteria. And especially if you're supplementing with probiotics, hopefully you will be spoken to by your pharmacist or healthcare practitioner will recommend how you can maintain these gut, how you can maintain bacteria in your gut by eating the right foods and making sure that the gut, your gut microbiome is nice and healthy. Thanks, Andrew, for your question. And if you want any particulars with that, please make sure you pop that in the comments below, and I will answer them. All right, so prebiotics, that was hopefully not too complicated. Tried my best to explain it in very simple, everyday kind of language. Cool. Whew. Okay, next question from Juliana. She's asking, how can I quit smoking? Yeah, that time of the year again, where we set our New Year's resolutions. So a couple options there, Juliana. We just make sure you come into the pharmacy, because we need to determine what medication you're taking and how many cigarettes that you're smoking a day. So I'm going to assume, just for ease and for everybody's benefit, you're not taking any other medication at the moment. We're going to keep it nice and simple. We would need to figure out how many cigarettes you're smoking a day. And I still always recommend the patch if you can tolerate it, because patches are nice and easy. If you're smoking greater than 10 cigarettes, and a lot of people that are smoking less, by using a patch, you're going to have controlled release of nicotine over the course of the day. Typically, I recommend my clients to take them off at night time, so you put it on in the morning, take it off at night. Some people in the beginning, they're still getting the cravings for having a cigarette, and we need to determine what it is for you. So some people actually enjoy the mechanism of putting something to their mouth. In that case, we can use something like an inhaler, which delivers nicotine into your body, and that handles that that sensation of putting something in your mouth, if that's you. Or what I like to prefer, you can get some nicotine spray, which is an excellent top-up version. So if you're feeling like a cigarette while you've got the patch on, you can just do a spray under the tongue, and that absorbs quickly into your body, and you're getting that nicotine released, a little bit extra nicotine released into your system, and that will help maintain your cravings over time. So when we start with this, and there are also drops, nicotine drops that you put under the tongue, and also gum, which you can use as well. Kind of old technology, but those are some other options that we can use as well. But my favorites are using the patches along with the spray and the inhaler. So once we've got you on the patch, it is then the next process to start to reduce the strength of the patch that you're using, and we'll work through, your healthcare professional will work through with you on the appropriate time scale to do that. So it just really depends on where you're at, how many cigarettes you're smoking, what stage you're at, etc. And then we'll eventually step down, and we like to do it slowly, because if we rush this, we find that people get a lot of rebound effects and then they jump back on the cigarettes, and that sucks. Having said that, we find a lot of people are actually just continuously on the patches as well. We don't want to do that. We want to get you off it. So speak to your pharmacist, or us, of course, on how we can do that. Now, while we're going through this, your body's going to be under a lot of stress, because it's not using, because you're not smoking cigarettes like you normally used to, and so your body goes through a few changes. So at this time, I always recommend that you take some B vitamins just to help your body handle that stress if you can. Some coenzyme Q10 to help with the cellular processes, and magnesium as well, really important just to help with the muscles that can be affected while you're smoking or while you're transitioning away from using cigarettes as well. So there's a whole approach that we can take, and I would definitely, put you onto the Quit line as well, because they offer an excellent resource in terms of counselling and talking to somebody about it, as well as the pharmacist, and we can help you get off it successfully, easily. So, Juliana, hopefully that answers your question. Please come in and see us. We can tailor a program for you. Next question today is from Samantha, and she's asking, how do I treat mosquito bites? Yeah, that time of the year, isn't it? Mosquitoes hanging around. So, Samantha, you haven't said, I'm just going to assume it's for an adult, which it sounds like you are. So, the best way to treat it is, one, to use an antihistamine. That'll work internally in reducing the redness and the itchy sensation of the mosquito bite. The other thing I would also use on top of the bite is some cortisone-based cream. So, cortisone, very safe to use. A very small amount is all you need to use, just directly onto the bite, as long as the skin is not broken. So you apply that to your skin, and that reduces the redness, and it reduces the swelling and the itching sensation. Of course, with all of these, I would also be looking at preventative measures as well. So I'd be talking to you about making sure you're using the right mosquito repellent, because there's a whole heap of them out there, and depending on the sensitivity of your skin, we would help you pick the right mosquito repellent as well. And so that's what I would do. So Samantha, just confirming, antihistamines, cortisone cream, and user prevention as well. If the skin is broken, you don't want to use cortisone-based cream, because that will slow down the healing process. So when I say the skin is broken, that means if your skin is bleeding, you've accidentally scratched it. In that case, what we'll do is you still take the antihistamine, and you just want to use some sort of, I would be using some sort of aloe vera gel or something like that until the skin heals up over. And then we can use some cortisone around the areas that are still red. So, nice and easy, Samantha. But get on to the prevention. Alicia, she's asking, what are my weight loss options in the pharmacy? Yeah, a whole heap, Alicia. The ones that we tend to recommend, along with dietary changes. So dietary changes are the most important in losing weight. So we would definitely talk to you about finding the most suitable dietary program to help with what you're trying to achieve. And then after that, we can use supplementation to kickstart your weight loss. So the main one that we like to recommend is some sort of meal replacement type product. So you want to make sure that this meal replacement product that you can take, because we need to check what medications you're taking, because some of them are filled with a whole heap of other stimulants, which may or may not be suitable for you. And the stimulants, if you're taking blood pressure or heart medication, it might be an issue. So you want to use a protein-based, a high protein-based weight loss supplement, which is a meal replacement initially. Just depending on where you're at, we want to start, if we can, replace a couple of meals to kickstart your weight loss, or we can start with one. We just need to tailor it and see how you go, and we'll see what's going to work best for you. So these meal replacements contain a high amount of protein. They also contain the right amounts of minerals and vitamins as well. And typically, they taste pretty good, the ones that you get in pharmacy. And some of them are low in sugar, so we can help you determine the right one for that as well. So, meal replacement is one thing. And using a good quality meal replacement product, something that's low in sugar and low in carbs as well, is we should be looking at that as well. The next consideration we will have is, especially if you're in West Brunswick, if you're plant-based or vegetarian, we would then help you select that you do have vegan-based options which contain a different form of protein. Typically, the regular meal replacements contain whey protein, which is good. But if you're plant-based, then we've got pea protein, and there are hemp protein options as well, which work really well as a good meal replacement. And the whole idea of the meal replacements is they'll make you feel fuller for longer while providing the right amount of nutrients in your body as well. Some of them contain resistant starches, believe it or not, what we spoke about with Andrew's question about prebiotics. And they help control your insulin sensitivity, which has been implicated in in weight loss as well. So that's the meal replacement stuff, and then there are also tablets that you can take to boost your metabolism. So not suitable for everybody, so make sure you come and speak to us about that, so we can be using that in conjunction with the meal replacement. And there are also some tablets that you can take that can curb your sugar cravings as well. So that's something that we could do as well. So Alicia, depending on where you're at, what medication you're taking, how much you want to lose, this would be the start of your weight loss options here in the pharmacy. And then we'll talk to you about diet and exercise. And the best thing that we can do as well is provide that support network. So we'd get you to check in with us once a week. We'd get you onto our health station to then track and measure your progress, because I believe that's really important, so you know where you're going. Cool. Alicia, hopefully that answers some of your questions regarding the weight loss options in the pharmacy. So, as always, please make sure that you like and share this video. Any questions, please pop them in the comments below and I will get to them next week. And if you have any suggestions as well, do you want me out of this room? Should I be wearing something to cover my shiny face? Is the lighting good? Do you want me to do this outside? Would it be good if you guys all came into the pharmacy, we did a live Q&A in front of everybody? Do you want me to get special guests in? Do you want Jerry or Rasal to do this? Just pop them in the questions, in the comments below. Love the feedback. Thanks guys.